Today I'm going to talk about the resentments of the codependent. So I'm just going to go quickly over codependency, counterdependency, and interdependency. The codependent is the one in a relationship or in life that considers other people's feelings before they consider their own. Okay? A counterdependent is somebody who considers their own feelings before they consider other people's feelings. And interdependency is when there's a balance of both. Okay? In our culture, we tend to, in a dualistic mindset, right and wrong mindset, what we try to do is we try to create a victim and a villain. So in this case, codependents often say, I'm the one in a relationship that's always considering the other person's feelings. I'm the one that's always trying to work on it, and the other person doesn't do anything. And so culture goes out, and the codependents go out into the world, and they try to make the codependent into the victim. Basically, the narcissist, the counterdependent is, they're just so selfish and they don't understand and they're not trying and that sort of thing. But what I'm always going to talk about is that usually things in culture don't match up to what we're really trying to get to, which is harmony. And so we have these different ways of being, and oftentimes we are a codependent in some relationships in our life, maybe not just intimate relationships, and then sometimes we're the counterdependent. And so it's a flow, so somebody's not always one or the other, but oftentimes what happens in an intimate relationship is if you're not in the interdependency state, if there's a counterdependent and a codependent in there, the codependent's always giving and giving and giving, and they say that they don't need anything in return. But it's not true, because when it comes to giving and receiving, it always has to be balanced, because giving and receiving is two sides of the same coin, meaning there has to, in a giving or in the flow of circulation, there needs to be a taker and a giver. And so if it's out of balance, if one's giving more than the other one, there's no harmony. And so what oftentimes happens in a relationship is that the codependent, if there's a codependent and a counterdependent, then the codependent just keeps giving and giving and giving, and then they say they don't harbor any resentments and they don't have any expectations. However, over time, over a long period of time, it starts to diminish them. And then they start saying, well, wait a minute, I need a little coming in my direction. And so what that does is it's over time, there's these hidden resentments that keep popping up because we're out of that balance and we're out of that harmony. And so it's just really what this lesson isn't about, trying to make one into a victim or into a villain, because truly, if you're a codependent or you're a counterdependent, you aren't living in harmony. And so the whole idea is to become cognizant of this balance of giving and taking, and considering somebody else's feelings and then considering your own feelings and making sure they come into harmony. Otherwise, with the codependent, you over time will start to build up resentments, and then oftentimes what ends up happening is you spend a lot of time considering the other person's feelings, and then subconsciously you're hoping to get that receiving coming back to you, and then over time it doesn't happen. Then you might get your voice and you start saying, no, come on now, you got to give a little bit to the counterdependent, and then if you don't have your voice heard, oftentimes what you can do is there's a big swing that says, okay, if you're not going to play this game, then I'm going to just consider my feelings completely. And and then the problem is that even if that relationship doesn't work and you can't get to the place in the relationship where there's harmony, you oftentimes will take that resentment out into the your next relationship, because you've now learned this behavior that it wasn't a good thing to be a codependent, or you consider yourself a victim and then you take yourself into another relationship. So this is just food to think about your past relationships or your present relationship And look for the balance, the interdependency, where you're nurturing yourself and you're looking to your partner to nurture yourself as well. And it has to be there in order to create harmony. And remember, if you're swinging loudly and you're trying to get the other person to wake up, that's just one way to go at it. The other way is to just bring balance into your own life and then see if that makes a difference with your partner. So trying not to swing wildly is the understanding here, and also to look and see if there's any kind of resentments that you bring from being a codependent. If you have any questions or comments about this video, I know this could be kind of controversial to some people, and I'm okay with that. Go ahead and comment or ask questions, and maybe I'll reply in a video, or we'll just banter in the comments. Thanks.